And so, Ace, I know you and I, before we started, we had decided on the game we're going to play to sync the audio. Do you want to do that now?
We got a game.
Yeah, sure.
And Strawberry, you'll be able to pick up and just hop in whenever it feels appropriate for you, okay?
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to tell you what we're doing, but you'll figure it out soon enough.
I'm smart and stuff.
All right. Well, Ace, I made it, despite your directions.
Superintendent Balzo, welcome. I hope you're ready for an unforgettable podcast.
Yes.
I've seen steamed hams twice in my life.
All right.
At least you know what it is. All right. Strawberry, do you have the next line of the sequence?
Do you guys have that memorized, or because I could say
you don't understand. No. This is fucking. We are brain rotted Gen Z degenerates, and we've each seen steamed hams fucking multitudes of times in various different ways of being presented. So yes.
So the thing is, right, is that I've seen the variant so much that the original has slipped through my fingers like the sands of time.
Okay, I've got the transcript open on Simpsonspedia, which I guess it would suggest the next line is, "Egads, my roast is ruined. But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour."
Skinner
with his crazy explanation, the superintendent's gonna leave to eat his medication. When he hears Skinner's late exaggerations, there'll be trouble in town tonight. Seymour!
Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
Oh, that's not smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Steamed clams.
Superintendent, I hope you're ready for mouth-watering hamburgers.
Oh no, we jumped. That's not on my...
I think that's enough to sync the audio. We're good.
Yeah, no, this bit sucks.
It's kind of hard to do with 3 people, and it's a 2-person skit.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to fucking keep this on the podcast.
This is all.
It's not my podcast.
This is all going in. What do you mean? This is gold.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Is that what I have agreed to?
All right.
Welcome back to Wizard Hang, everybody. I am Chris R.R. Bauzo, a.k.a. CB Writes Well, and I am here with my esteemed guests, not steamed hams, but my esteemed guests, Ace D. Wizard, and introducing Strawberry Porg. Why don't you fellas introduce yourselves any more than that?
My name's Ace D. Wizard. I'm a real-life wizard. Don't look it up.
Do your own research.
And I'm Strawberry Porg, a real-life strawberry. We can talk now.
But not a real Porg.
No, those were made up by Lucasfilms
Entertainment Industries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm very excited to have both of you here, especially you, Strawberry. I know you're in the writers group. I know you're the one who's going for the Pulitzer out of all of us.
I see how it is.
I learned from the story lords, you know.
Exactly. I mean, Ace, you're a mainstay at this point, so you're just a given. But Strawberry is a special guest today.
I'm everyone's favorite.
So anyway, we're here. We have written stories for one another's amusement, and what were those lovely prompts again? Who would like to say?
We got a prompt for 1 second. Let me
temples and comets.
Yeah, temples.
Yeah, comets and temples were our prompts, and we just decided to. I don't know how long, Strawberry, you've been keeping your story in the vault, but me and Ace, we just kind of hustled to get this done over the course of maybe a week or so.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sprint, less of a marathon.
Yeah, I know, Ace, you finished yours today, is that correct? Are the allegations true?
Listen, I am super good about headlines, and any allegations that I mayhaps finished 20 minutes before the writing the writing club meeting are grossly exaggerated, and frankly, I think that anyone that brings forth those allegations should be discredited, especially if their name's Hasty Wizard.
All right, so in that case, how about you start us off with your story of Comets and Temples?
All right. Yeah.
Cue the music. Well, guys, I hope you're ready for an unforgettable story. This story's kind of similar to the one you read last week. Oh, no, there's a brand new one.
Anyways. This story is called Belgalora's Epic Quest to Score.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. A Tale of Comets and Temples by Hasty Wizard.
This character is quite similar to the one you read last time.
Mayhaps.
Well, Belgalora is a fucking fan favorite for sure, at least for me.
I'm really glad you feel that way. She's popular with my friend Viola, too, and she's kind of based on her.
Hopefully this is a great jumping on point for me, then.
Yeah, it's fine.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Last time on the Jatzelborn Chronicles Gaiden. Go fuck yourself, Fulio! You're a third-rate diviner with a fourth-rate beast! Raido Kaido did a cool hand flourish, his long coat fluttering in the wind. Go ahead, draw your last pathetic divination! Justice Mon was struggling to stand. This had been a long, tough duel, and Fulio was on the back foot. My grandmother's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaido! Fulio then turned their cool, iconic Mage Ball cap backwards.
Mage Ball.
So that way the audience knows that shit just got real. I believe in the heart of the Arcana. With a chuckle to themselves, Fulio drew this last card and posed dramatically. It seems that the Wheel of Fortune turns once more. Can Fulio be able to clutch this win? What card have they pulled? Will Raido Kaido threaten to fucking kill himself over our children's card game? Find out next time. Find out in the next chapter of Arcana Beast GX. The journey begins. Advanced Battle Max, Volume 24. Kaido threatens to kill himself over our children's card game.
It's a good title. I like that.
I'm glad it's fully original and all from your brain and not like anything else.
Yeah, not derivative of anything at all I've heard of.
Yeah, no, this, by the way, I've never heard of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon.
Never heard of it, huh?
Yeah,
I'm glad you know the names so that you know what you haven't heard of.
Yeah, you reference them by names of things you've never heard of. That's an interesting.
Also, I'm looking to move out soon. If any of you, want to start living under a rock, hit me up, okay? And now for the continuation of the Jatzelborn Chronicles Gaiden. Damn, the gods sure did a fantastic job with the night sky.
Nights!
Between the three moons of Suna, and then I put a author's note, the planet that Jatzel is on, the plentiful stars in the star sky, and of course the Aurora Borealis, localized entirely within that beautiful void black canvas.
At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the province,
Yes, exactly.
It's just all steamed hams references this whole episode. I'm sorry, Strawberry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
I promise you that's my last one.
Aw.
Yeah, sorry. However, the crown jewel among them has gots to be the Lover's Comet. A twin pair of comets that perfectly orbit each other in an elegantly balanced cosmic dance. It graces the lands of Jatzel but once every 75 years. It was romantic as hell, and as such, it was a pretty good chance to get some stank on your hangdown, some jam in your clam, or even hold hands and kiss your partner's cheek, if you're schnasty like that.
Some jam on your clam, you said?
Jam in your clam, please.
Oh, in the clam, of course.
This is my type of story.
Very sexual tale you got so far.
Yeah, well, it's a Belgalora story.
Absolutely.
She's an adult. Whatever. Belgalora wasn't about to let this opportunity pass her up. She kicked open the door in her half-burned-down hut like a combination of Shrek and Cusco. She was on an epic quest to score. The plan was simplicity itself. First, she would get some awesome loot from a dungeon. Then, when she put on that epic loot, the ladies would start flooding in. Belgalora would then treat them, and herself, to a positively Dionysian, orgy-tastic fuck festival.
It's a good plan.
Then maybe she'd be happy, and finally fill the void in her heart that's been haunting her since early childhood. Before any of that, however, she had a train to catch. Lunaria may be a goth kid's doom and gloom-filled wet nightmare, but its loot table was hot garbage. Unless you like the shit plague, I guess. To that end, she was gonna buy a ticket to Tomura, where the real primo loot is. The train ride was quiet and pretty uneventful. There was a bard who was handing out record stones to promote his Soundspell album, and the train attendant was super cute with a pencil skirt and tiny hat. But for however down horrendous, down stupendous, or down rambunctious Belgalora was, even she wouldn't stoop so low as to hit on a lady at her workplace. The fresh air of Tolmora was a far cry from the oppressive atmosphere of Lunaria. Guess that was one of the benefits of living on a not-cursed land with thin borders to a nightmare dimension. The rent was probably way more expensive, though, so it's a give and take. The weather and walk from the train station was so pleasant, in fact, that Belgalora scarcely noticed the cut to the dungeon entrance. A single guard crossed his spear, blocking the dungeon entrance. It lacked the punch of if another guy mirrored his movements to make an X formation. The guard cleared his throat and spoke in a voice that sounded a bit like Patrick Warburton. And I hate you past Ace, because I can't do a Patrick Warburton.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah. Whoa there, buddy. You got a license for this dungeon? Belgalora raised an eyebrow. License? The guard nodded. Yeah, you must not be from around here. See, in Tomura, you need a guild license to enter any kind of dungeon. Like the Temple of Fuck You loot over there. It's for everyone's safety and... Look, man, I listened to this Nature Scrycast last night, so I'm trying to take a page from the Peacock Handbook and get a cool piece of loot so I can show a babe a strapping good time, if you know what I mean. I'm talking, peahens don't fan like that. What? Yeah, the ostentatious display of feathers, dances, or showing of cool sticks is more of a male behavior. What are you, an ornithologist? I dabble. I lead a rich inner life, Belgalora suppressed the urge to roll her eyes. The witch's eyes widened as she reached into her back pocket. Oh, right, the license. That's what this is, right? Some guy at the guild hall gave me this. She handed the guard a folded piece of paper. He looked at it inquisitively. Ma'am, this isn't a Class 3 guild license. This is a scrap of paper that someone wrote he put on his readers. I cast explosive runes, and then suddenly, with an audible click, the note exploded. The note exploded the guard directly into a Yamcha crater.
Oh, no.
Belgalora took the time to cast a telekinetic disc and do a boneless into an Indy 360 over the smoldering crater.
Oh my fucking god.
Style and class.
I'm just imagining fucking Kronk just sitting there with his readers. I cast explosion on myself spell. Fucking dies. Yamcha crater.
3rd edition D&D was wild stuff.
Yeah. I got part of that gag from Order of the Stick, by the way. That's a fun webcomic.
Yeah, D&D webcomic. I get these references.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
To nothing that you've never seen or heard or read.
Yeah, no, I've existed in like a Shadow the Hedgehog like green tube, and then they flushed me out when I started reading stories. Belgalora soon found herself in a large room, cut in half by an artificial flowing river. You know that this place was fancy because the torches on the wall lit up as she entered. They were a bright blue and gave off great illumination. Belgalora recognized some of the rune work his forger crafted. That's forger with a capital F, for those of you that aren't reading my Word document. Either this place was older than Dirt's dusty dick and balls, or the folks that built this place really knew their stuff. There were 3 statues on her side of the river. They depicted a wolf, a chicken, and a sack of corn. There were 3 statue-sized divots on the floor on the other side of the river. Just as Belgalora took in her surroundings, a booming voice filled the room. Greetings, adventurer! What lies before thee is a test of Yeah, a puzzle to prove my blah blah. Shut the fuck up! Belgalora got onto her telekinetic disc, did a dark slide grind off of one of the statues into a no-comply, clearing the river. The witch then did a front flip, and as she did, she stuck a metric fuckload of spell tags onto her disc and kicked the disc into the sealed door before setting off the detonation. She had just enough time to turn around and put on some manifested sunglasses, because cool guys don't look at explosions also applies to women of the arcane arts. She turned around as the explosion settled. Fuck! There was no one around to see how cool that was! Damn it! Ah, well, at least the door's open. She gingerly climbed over the rubble and continued on her quest. What awaited the witch was a long-ass hallway. It was clearly trapped to the circles of hell and back. Seriously, she could see the animation cells and everything. And it looked like a switch at the end unlocked the door. She started looking around for some kind of way to disarm the traps or something, but was having no luck. Then that voice came back from nowhere. What a unique solution! Truly, you have wits, but do you have the strength to... Shut the fuck up. She found a dead skeleton. She ripped off its arms. Don't mind me, just doing a bit of recycling. She took out a knife from her pack and stabbed her own finger. As her scarlet red blood fell to the ground, she drew a magical circle with intricate geometry. She mage-handed the rest of the skeleton into the center and added a bit of her own hair to the center too. Skeleton isn't gonna have enough HP for all that hallway. Gonna need something a little meatier. She started chanting as her eyes, normally a deep amethyst purple, darkened into void black with crackles of a profane red. Soon, a meat demon rose from the pool of blood. It screamed a guttural cry that rattled the hallway. The witch plunged her twisted obsidian dagger directly into the meat demon's head, killing it. Still in the throes of her fugue state, she slammed her hands down into the ground, and soon her profane alchemy was done. She had made a zombleton, half zombie, half skeleton. The toxic, loveless marriage between the skeleton's speed and ability to use tools, and a zombie's hardiness and ability to shrug off damage, together at last. The zombleton rehinged its jaw. Me? That's right, dear. I'm your mother, and Mother wants you to go to the end of that hallway and throw that switch there. She grabbed her horrific abomination by the shoulder and rotated them to face the hallway with an Orc J. Simpson shitload of traps. Her hands sunk into it a little bit as some meat began to sluice off. With a little push, she sent her sins against the gods on its merry little way. The camera stays on Belgalora as she leans up against the wall of the entryway and starts pondering her orb. She put in her earbuds and queued up a scrycast. Belgalora had built up quite a backlog of My Wizard and Me episodes. Sounds of explosions, buzzsaws, and an undead horror learning what pain was were all drowned out by the show where 3 bards pretended to be wizards and give arcane advice. It was pretty...
I want to listen to this show now.
You know one of the hosts is a griffin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It was pretty alright. It was no Wizard Scroll Knights, _Knights.wave.
Knights!
Nice. But it was pretty good. A solid B+. When the commotion and hoopla finally died down, the witch leisurely made her way through the corridor, making sure to step over any chunks of chuck and bone meal. The door was still locked fast. It seems that the zombleton wasn't able to pull the lever. Did I do good, Mommy? The lowly wretch wheezed out, her blood pooling from its wounds. Yeah, you did great. Hey, could you turn around for me? The zombleton did so with great effort. Did good. it said with a sense of satisfaction. Yeah, that's right, Lenny. Just keep looking at the bunnies. She then pulled out a gun, and with a single bullet through the brain, she ended it, putting the thing out of its misery.
At least she's merciful.
Yeah. Belgalora made a mental note to get into golem crafting. Those things were way less of a mess. Blah. The third chamber also had the same automatic torches. The voice came back and gave a little huff before speaking. You know, I get the feeling you aren't really engaging with the dungeon. We put a lot of effort into... What? Sorry, I wasn't listening. Belgalora took out her earbuds. It's fine, whatever. Okay, fine. The chamber had 2 golem guardians who crossed their spears together. And yeah, it totally had a much stronger effect than that last Joker. They were guarding 2 doors, a red one on the left and a blue one on the right. The golems spoke in unison. One of us tells lies, the other one only tells the truth. You must use your heart to discern which of us is which. Belgalora gave it a moment and wondered how she would get past this diabolical pitfall. Suddenly, she thought back to something that her father said back when she was a child. Flash _back_sound_effect_dot_wave.mp3.
._wave_mp3. That's how most of my sound effects are filed as, yeah.
Fantastic. But yeah, if we could get that to post, that'd be great.
Flashback harp.
Yeah. Belgalora is in her childhood home. She was trying to play with her doll. Her father cracked his second 6-pack open. His words were already slurring. She stood stock still. What the fuck is this Spellblade bullshit anyways? Back in my day, you were either a marshal or a caster, and we liked it that way. It was fine. Now everyone's picking on these fucking weirdo classes, 'cause they gotta be so special. Ever since that wench-in-law blew up your strumpet mother, she's been hanging around here a lot more. I thought I'd be rid of them by now, but no. Plus, I'm stuck with you third misogynistic epithet. Gods, I hate women. Oh, by the way, you just asked the guards something that's obviously true, and bada bing, ring-a-ding-ding. Lead paint is delicious. reverse_flashback_dot_ogg.webm.
Yeah, I got that one too, don't worry.
Alright, thank you. Man, I need to start drinking more, Belgalora said, unprompted. So, the golem on the left interrupted. How will you... Power word scunch. Suddenly, Calm Susser Todd started playing. Second author's note, linked for your convenience. That's the song from Evangelion during Third Impact.
Okay.
Where, it all returns to nothing. It all keeps tumbling down, tumbling down. Yeah, you'll be able to find it.
That song is it's always a pleasure when Ace D Wizard starts to sing on the podcast.
I'm a great singer. Fuck
you know, I've never been treated so I'm glad to be witness.
Yeah. Started playing as a bright ruby red burst of raw arcane force set itself upon the golem. Electric hands tearing it asunder, limb from limb, as it discards the detritus into the spell's core. Once the bits of golem pass through the event horizon of the spell, it is atomized, reduced to raw, untamed nothingness from the beginning of the universe. There was golem here. It was unmade. The other golem flashed back. They were their partner for untold millennia. They would get high off of magnets and look at this cool lava fountain together.
Okay.
Sometime during the last age, they leaned in close. Really close. He was too much of a coward to do anything about it. It was killing him inside, and his partner was gone in an instant. The golem fell to his knees, tears streaming down its face. He cupped the dust that was once the love of his life. Hey, bucko! The witch turned her attention to the alive golem. Mind telling me which spell I just cast? You brought him to life. I hated him. Barely knew him. from a small fraction of my life. I hated him. I'll see him again. Hey, aren't you supposed to answer my question? Belgalora tilted her head and put her index finger to her chin. You cast Cure Light Wounds. Gods, could you imagine that? Nah, I'm defo more of a DPS than a support. The only thing I support are these bad bitches. She gestured to her cool boobs. Anyways.
Are they out this whole time, or is she covered up in this dungeon?
Yeah, no, she has clothes on. It's just she's gesturing.
Otherwise they wouldn't be supported. You gotta listen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, come on.
Right. Okay, but yeah.
It's the only thing she supports. Anyways, that sweet, sweet Tresh is behind that blue door, right? Correct. He put his friend's ashes to his face as regret burned into his heart. What would he do to put his partner to rest? He couldn't scatter his friend's ashes to the heartless dungeon. Okay, thanks, bye! The witch skipped over to the red door and went through, leaving the golem to mourn. The last room was pretty simple. It was a staircase, and it led to a single treasure chest. Fuck yeah, let's go! She scampered up the staircase on all fours. The voice came back. It started slow clapping sarcastically. Wow, congrats! You super cleared the dungeon in the intended manner. This won't be a pain in the ass to clean up at all. Take the treasure. You've earned it. Whatever, man. Maybe next time design a better dungeon. 3 puzzles in a straight line? The second one wasn't even a fucking puzzle. It was, hope you have enough HP to live this. What, was that so the tanks don't get bored? This temple sucks and it isn't helped by some judgmental voice telling me everything that I do is wrong. If I wanted that, I wouldn't have killed my aunt. That's a reference to the first story. She threw open the treasure chest. Inside there were 6 gold pieces, a level 2 dagger of mild pointedness, and a 2-for-1 coupon for health potions at Quest Buy. Belgalora...
Quest Buy?
Yeah. Belgalora flipped over the coupon. It was expired. Man, even she wouldn't fuck her with this loot. And she was desperate. Fuck you, loot. Fuck you, loot. Oh, god damn it, she just got it now. Ha, totally punked your ass. Now get ready to face your secret 4th trial. You may have overcome this temple, but can you overcome yourself? A dramatic thunderclap and piano sting filled the room, much like the purple mist that spilled from the chest and began to envelop Belgalora. It floated her up in the air a little bit as she breathed it in. Then, as quickly as it started, it was over. And before Belgalora was herself. But this Belgalora had white hair and a white witch's hat and cleric robes. I am a shadow, their true Hachi Machi! Our Belgalora clapped her hands. She was practically turning into a cartoon wolf. Ain't no way I'm this hot! How about you and I blow this? This is all pointless, isn't it? The clawing loneliness we feel? This comet, this plan, was just yet another lie that we tell ourselves. That there's hope for us. Belgalora's face fell. I mean, yeah, this was probably gonna end in some kind of failure. I just rushed into this, didn't even read any reviews of the dungeons here. It was more of an excuse to leave the house than anything. However, in my defense, the witch joined hands with her shadow. We can still find joy in the pointless, and frankly, finding joy wherever you can is pretty kick-ass if you ask me. And, not for nothing, but as much as you're me, I'm you. And I know I fucking hate this place, so let's get the hizzack out of here. The witch winked. The shadow chuckled. You're very forward. Belgalora scooped up her shadow in her arms and began carrying her bridal styles. Plus, I'm pretty sure fucking your clone is a form of jorking it, and I'm cray-cray bananas good at it. Lots of practice. She wiggled her eyebrows. Shadow Galora sighed. Perhaps a bit too forward. The end.
What a wonderful
post-credit scene. Get back in your...
Oh, shit.
Get back in your fucking chair. You will piss your pants in this theater. Fulio, I will invoke death right here, right now if you don't concede. I'll do it. Raido Kaido at this moment had a real-ass gun pointed to his temple, his finger curled around the trigger. This was his only hope. There was no fucking way his blue-eyes white reversed Emperormon could contend with the Arcana-evolved Judgmentmon. Death doesn't actually mean death. Kaido used his thumb to pull down the hammer. Whoa, let's be rational here. It may just be a children's card game, but I have a lot riding on this. My grandmother's soul got trapped in a book by the guy running this tournament. My friend Tony has his sister's eye surgery to pay for. Fuck you and your grandma, I'll buy you a new one. I have $1 billion. He has my brother. I mean, I would like my OG grandma, but like, if you can hire a cleric to do those, that would work. Yeah, sure. Glad we could strike a deal. Obviously, I'm a rational man, said the guy who had a gun pointed to his head over a children's card game. The two shook hands and Fulio conceded. Kaido then punched Fulio in the stomach and he fell to the ground. Fuck you, Fulio! I win! Fuck your grandma! Judgmentmon, scrunch his balls! The end.
Never trust a billionaire.
Scrunch his balls.
You can't trust rich people.
Yeah, no. You think I would make the rich guy, like, sympathetic. But yeah, that's my story. Sorry for my, less than lackluster reading of it. I'm really tripped.
That was wonderful. What are you talking about? That was beautiful.
I don't know. I felt like I tripped up a bunch.
Belgalora fucking comes in with a dark side grind and fucking explodes half the dungeon. Finds a clone of herself and scores, so she's mission accomplished.
Yeah, her epic quest to score.
The temple of fuck you loot.
Yeah, but it's, it's fuck you, loot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a comma in there that she didn't notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, do you have a license to be here? Says Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint is that it faded to black a little too early. I want to know so where the rest of this goes.
Yeah, well, some of us had a meeting to get to.
I just want to know how the clams and the jams get along. It's comet season.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in Belgalora 3, Return of Jafar. We'll see.
It's Chatzelborn Chronicle, Gaiden, After Dark.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Nice!
It's just me fucking loudly sweating and fumbling over my words. Oh, yeah, no, the sex is so good.
Yeah.
I know what this is and enjoy it a lot, often.
Wow, this is...
Frequently, at least twice.
At least twice. Oh boy, here we go fucking again.
Fantastic tale.
Thank you.
All the prompts were there, even prompts from the future.
Yeah.
Magnets and lava fountains just shoehorned in right there in the middle. Mm-hmm. Brilliant tale.
I learned a lot because if magnets are drugs for golems, then I think that Violent J might be part golem on his mom's side.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, so the golems are like, so to me, like, golems are kind of like robots, right? So like,
but made of stone.
Yeah, or whatever. I imagine these
or metal.
Guys, yeah, I imagine these guys were made of metal.
Yeah.
Well, one of them's not made of nothing anymore.
Yeah, I love how one of them speaks only the truth, one of them speaks lies. What did I just cast on this guy? Light mending.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he's the one lying.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fucking beautiful. That was wonderful.
Tragic golem yaoi. There's something for everyone here. Girl Yuri, tragic golem yaoi. We got it all.
Sapphic romance.
Yeah, love takes many forms here.
Well, if you enjoy subverting the one tells the truth, one tells a lie gag, then get ready for my story.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. We segueing right in, huh?
Damn, let's get to it after a musical break and I get some water, please. Alright, Strawberry, the floor is yours.
Alright. My story is called Gromgar and the Witch.
Witch, damn. A lot of synchronicities here so far.
Yeah, goddamn.
The horde of goblins poured out of the cavernous entrance to the underground temple, like an angry green wave. Scores of the tiny, malevolent creatures charged the trio of adventurers, leading with gnashing teeth or sharpened claws or wicked, cruel weapons. To a group of novices, this might spell the end of their quest, their fates snuffed out by a seemingly endless crush of hate and rage. For Gromgar and his cohorts, however, it was just one more obstacle between them and the Moonlight cultists. Midnight approaches, and the comet with it, the mage shouted over the din of battle so her companions could hear. They were running out of time. Slaying as fast as I can, Gromgar the barbarian growled as he crushed a goblin with a meaty fist. Maybe you could throw a fireball or summon lightning, that'd really speed this up. That's not how magic works, the mage grumbled, folding her arms across her chest, her long elven ears twitching with annoyance. Painted in the blood of his enemies and electric with the high of battle, Gromgar finally yanked his broadsword from the last goblin's chest, then turned to the leather-clad swashbuckler. 52, he said, sheathing his weapon. More than 4 dozen of the little green imps slain, and he barely glistened with sweat. 18 or 19, his compatriot huffed out, struggling to catch his breath, fumbling to put his 2 short swords back into their scabbards. Pathetic. I was a little busy surviving to keep counting. The barbarian simply rolled his eyes. You can measure your dicks later. For now, let's stop this demonic ritual. The mage pushed past them, exploring further into the dungeon. Or
they can measure their dicks right.
We know that's what you want. Gray stone walls seemed to stretch on endlessly in long, twisting corridors as the trio trod the inclined dirt paths leading deeper into the labyrinth. After what felt like miles underground, they finally came to a fork with 2 paths leading in different directions. Standing sentinel between the diverging routes were 2 grotesque gargoyle statues, glowing rubies set into their eye sockets. As the adventurers approached, the stone creatures animated, turning to regard them in non-threatening manner. 2 paths lay before you, one of the statues spoke, its voice deep and thick, resounding off the rocky walls. One leads to your quest, while the other leads to your doom. Gromgar sighed, but the mage perked up and made a delighted sound. You may ask us only one question, the second gargoyle chimed in, its voice slightly... See, his voice slightly different, but equally resonant.
Does he sound like Patrick Warburton?
I mean, if we're fan casting, I would love to get him in here.
He works as any kind of like big dude.
Yeah, if he's buffing.
Hey, Peter.
You know, maybe we get the Tin Man to do one, Patrick Warburton to the other, and then they sound so similar that no one could tell them apart.
Exactly, they're identical in every way.
I always struggle. But be warned, one of us always... Hey, wait! It cut off suddenly as the massive barbarian grabbed its head in a single massive hand and smashed it into its counterparts. The statue's noggins broke like eggs, and the now lifeless stone bodies crumpled to the ground. Riddles bore me, was all the explanation he offered before walking down the left path. His companions staring agog as the dark shadows seemed to swallow his shrinking form.
Fuck yeah, Gog.
I can't believe you did that, the mage blurted out in frustration after catching up. How do you know this is the right path? What gives you the right to smash those helpful creatures? How will you ever solve a puzzle if you don't listen and wait? And another thing, why are you... Gromgar ignored her. Blessedly, her voice grew more and more quiet until it faded away entirely. The barbarian wasn't sure how that could be, but before he could consider it much, the corridor opened up to a small holding cell. Furnished sparsely with only a moldering, lumpy bed and a small table that wobbled under the weight of his gaze, the room had but a single inhabitant. Chained to the far wall, wearing only a dirtied shift and stockings filled with holes, was a comely maiden, a ghastly look of horror painting her face. "Oh, noble warrior," the bound damsel begged in a breathy voice, "release me from my imprisonment before the foul goblins return to torment me." With a mighty slash of his sword, the manacles fell from her wrists, and she collapsed against his chest. He raised an arm to wrap around her protectively. Her small body felt so fragile against his massive toned frame, her fists curled up against his bare chest, her warm breath moving the hair like wheat in a breeze. "Fear not, sweet maid, for I have slain them and am here to rescue you." Gromgar hadn't really listened too close to the details, but that seemed like the most likely reason he had come to this dungeon. Something in her body language shifted, and she suddenly felt more substantial as she looked up at him. Where once she wore a mask of fear, now bare joy alighted her features, an unrestrained smile broadening her blushing cheeks. "Is that so?" Her voice grew more sultry, a lusty fire showing in her eyes. "If you've truly delivered me from those tiny fiends, then you deserve the greatest reward I can offer." Gromgar reckoned he deserved some bounty for his good deed. His kilt was so soaked in goblin blood he could no longer tell its original color or pattern. His sword, while strong and true, had dulled its edge considerably today. Replacing either would be a fine reward. "But I'm afraid," she continued, swirling a finger through his curly chest hair, dragging her lower lip through her teeth, "that all I have to offer you is my body." Oh. Oh.
Oh, sick, free labor. Awesome. Oh. Get in the Conan pain wheel.
He said that last "oh" out loud. That was way better than a new sword. "That is, if it would please, milord." He responded by crushing his mouth against hers in a hot, passionate kiss. She was so much smaller than him, and he had to lift her up and fold himself over just for their faces to meet. But she tasted of sweetness and innocence, and as his tongue entwined with hers, he realized he would have suffered any discomfort for a moment of her flavor. He heard his sword belt clatter to the floor, and he was honestly impressed. Her fingers were so skilled and nimble he hadn't even felt her testing his buckle. This was going to be fun. He broke the kiss and stared into her eyes, which was hard because her chest was heaving and as she struggled to catch her breath, and he would very much like to watch that. It wasn't the only thing that was hard. 2 fingers hooked into the waist of his kilt, and she flashed him a devilish smile. If he didn't hurry, he realized, she would have him in the buff before he'd even attempted to relieve her of a single article. That wouldn't do. Thankfully, he knew a shortcut. Grabbing fistfuls of her shift, the barbarian effortlessly pulled the garment apart. As the tattered shreds of clothing drifted to the floor, he glanced down and finally beheld her. All of her. Despite her recent imprisonment, her golden hair looked immaculate, the lovely curls spilling around her shoulders. Her shoulders sloped gently and were perfectly dappled with the tiniest drops of freckles. Her freckles spilled over her collarbones, which were stark and inviting, leading his vision naturally to her gleaming sword points. Her sword points were perfectly symmetrical, each with an elegant tail of blood that trailed down her... Wait, what? As a thought came to him, she fell to the floor. "Good distraction, mate," his swashbuckling friend said with a roguish smile as he slipped his swords back into his scabbard. "What?" Gromgar was so confused. "This is the most fascinating hex I've ever seen," the mage said as she studied the walls. "Demon magic is so inhuman." "What?" Gromgar demanded, his rage growing. "Your lady was a succubus," the swashbuckler said, pointing down at the obvious succubus laying on the floor. "Whatever spell she cast separated us. I had to complete a puzzle just to get out. Luckily, we managed in time." "I was given an unsolvable riddle," the mage said triumphantly. "The solution made no sense, but once I used its own logic against it, the answer was simple." Sure, the barbarian said unsurely, as he struggled to buckle his sword belt. He was far too aroused for all of this. "Could you maybe have waited 20 minutes? Not a lot of chances to bang around in a dungeon. Would have really enjoyed that." This was met with blank stares.
You know, it's really funny, like, during the sex scene, I was like, hey, where are the other two? They just, like, watching this?
Is that a thing?
Anyway.
The swashbuckler asked rhetorically. I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess that's a thing. He kept muttering to himself. "If we had waited, you'd be dead," the mage tried to explain. "That demon would have sucked your soul out through your junk and kept going until your body crumbled to dust."
Sounds like Moon's Day night to me.
Hey, bada bing.
Hey.
Bell Glory being like, where can I get some of that?
Sounds kind of fun, he said with a shrug before trudging back the way they'd come. The occultist cathedral was just a little ways past the ruined gargoyles, and given how loud they were chanting and raving, it was a wonder they hadn't heard them before. A few dozen of the white-robed parishioners bowed in supplication, talk-singing in unison as a leader held up a golden object and made proclamations. Okay, so, the mage said, pointing at the shaved-head proclaimer, that idol he has is the moonlight relic. Once every 100 years or so, it coalesces the latent magics of the cosmos into a raw form, which can be easily harvested for mana. Both of her companions stared like chud-chewing cows.
Cud-chewing.
Wow, that's easier to write than it is to say, ain't it?
Yep.
Cud-chewing cows. So many C's. She sighed deeply. Gold statue bad, take away from evil man. Got it, Swashbuckler.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
I mean, is that every quest? Just this is good, this is bad, get good from bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it, the Swashbuckler said with a cocksure nod. I think I can drag a number of these cultists away before their chanting friends will even notice. But when they do notice, though, that's when you come in, Gromgar. He turned to look at the barbarian. The barbarian who wasn't where they had last seen him. Gromgar had no trouble walking right up to the ring of distracted zealots. Even the man leading the congregation wasn't paying him any mind. The barbarian watched the golden idol for a few moments, tracking its erratic movements. Then, satisfied he knew its path, he threw his broadsword as if it were a tiny dagger. The deadly steel arced through the air, spinning like a graceful dancer, and came to a rest point first in the moonlight relic. The small amphitheater filled with a glowing rush of wind as the magic artifact gave a final sigh and released all of its stored energies. Then, silence. Cult's over, go home, Gromgar yelled, his hands cupped around his mouth.
Awesome.
The silence stretched on, everyone staring at the barbarian in disbelief. Growing angrier by the second, Gromgar growled and mad-dogged the congregation, who finally began fleeing. I can't believe you did that, the mage rasped as she stomped towards him. As the members of the cult were filing out, he had busied himself with retrieving his thrown sword. All he offered his livid companion was an acknowledging grunt. The moonlight relic was older than a millennium. Countless cultures worshipped it, relied on its magic, and you just carelessly destroyed it. Gromgar shrugged. Took it away from the bad guys, sounds like a win. He sheathed his...
Yeah.
He sheathed his sword and began looking around for anything cool to take. He's not wrong, the swashbuckler said with little enthusiasm. The mage shot him a withering look and he shrunk back and stayed quiet. We need to talk, she said to the oblivious looter as he kicked through the discarded items left in the amphitheater, looking for anything of value. He glanced at his companion but continued his search. Something's got to change. You don't discuss your plans with us. You make reckless and destructive decisions. You tried to sleep with a succubus. I don't think we can keep going like this. Good, he said matter-of-factly as he'd come to the same conclusion. You two are probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Have fun dying in a cave without me. With that, he pushed past his former compatriots and left. Weeks later, on a cloudy night in the dark and spooky forest, Gromgar refused to be lost. He had been searching this seemingly endless thicket fruitlessly for hours, but was sure that the witch's hut was in here somewhere. And back in town, he had threatened an old crone until she had finally told him of the secret evil dwelling nearby. Now all he had to do was find the house, slay the evil witch, then go collect a reward. Adventuring was easy, and he was happy he didn't have any spellcasters or foppish swordsmen to slow him down. Unexpectedly, the barbarian walked face first into a thick, hairy tree that surely hadn't been there just a moment ago. Outraged, he gripped the shaggy gray oak and attempted to rip it out of the ground. Instead of submitting to the justice of the barbarian's will, the tree hatched its own diabolical plan and lifted him high into the air.
Whoa.
A crackle of lightning arced across the sky, finally illuminating the massive shape that had removed him from the ground, and he finally understood. Kinda. The furry tree trunk was actually an unimaginably large spider leg. 1 of 8, in fact.
Oh,
on top of which an ancient log cabin sat. The hut was so hard to find because it was 50 feet off the ground and skittering around on bug limbs. Determined and energized, Gromgar began climbing the tree leg like a lumberjack. though if any lumberjack had ever wrestled a tree, actively trying to shake him off, all while it scabbled around an evil forest, the barbarian hadn't yet heard that tale. After some considerable effort, Gromgar found himself standing on the front porch, muscles strained from the work, skin slick with sweat. Too angry to knock, the hulking man simply put a boot to the front door, kicking its entirety into the small home. The door, with half of its hinges still attached, soared across the open living space, then, just before it smashed into a small humanoid form, sitting patiently on the floor, jerked to one side and crashed harmlessly into a dusty old couch. Graceful as a shadow, the person arose from their cross-legged position and turned towards him. The barbarian girded himself against her unnatural, hideous visage. The countenance that regarded him, however, was neither unnatural nor hideous. On the contrary, the so-called witch was gorgeous. Her face was round and framed with a wild shock of pink hair. 2 piercing blue eyes watched him with bemused curiosity. Her full, curvy body was barely covered by the thin robe that clung to her every rounded edge. He had expected a withered and ancient hag, but instead found a perfect vision of youth and beauty. It was a real shame what he and his sword were going to have to do. "Welcome, champion," she said in a melodic, soothing voice. "I've been awaiting someone with the intelligence to find my hidden home, and the constitution to reach me. You're the first man to ever make it. I invite you to join me in my boudoir and sire my children, so that they may be strong with your blood." As she spoke the entrancing words, her black robe slipped from her shoulders, cascading into pools of silken fabric around her feet, leaving her bare and entirely exposed. The barbarian's breath hitched as he beheld her in the flickering candlelight. "You may be right about my brilliance," he said as he closed the distance between them and wrapped an arm around her waist. "But I am not a document detailing the laws of government." He bent down and kissed her passionately, urgently. She pressed her warm, naked body into him, and he gripped her in his massive hands to pull her even closer. His mouth moved from hers, to trace a line of kisses down her jaw, to nibble her earlobe and nip her neck. She pulled him to the ground and mounted him like a wild beast in need of breaking. The next 3.5 minutes were the most intense and pleasurable of Gromgar's life.
I was going to say, are we allowed to have this on the podcast? Oh my god.
It was a scroll nights for
When
you.
at last the witch rose from atop him, he was more exhausted than that time he had fought 1,001 orcs. She stood over him, evilly glaring down at him as her pregnant belly swelled into her cradling arms. Her supple, delightful curves withered, her skin turning wrinkled and sallow. Her enchanting eyes became sunken and yellow, thick cataracts clouding her once piercing irises. Her vibrant hair sloughed off in clumps, the few remaining strands turning gray and split. In just seconds, the otherworldly beauty transformed and bent into a shriveled crone, thick with child. "You have fathered the end of creation, barbarian," the witch said with a cackle, her voice like a mummy's grandmother. "Come,
if I had a nickel."
Yeah, you gotta watch where you sheathe your sword in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
"Come, my children, sup on your first dinner. Feast and grow strong." As if popping an engorged pimple, the witch squeezed her full round belly. A sickening squelch issued from some unholy part of her, and a torrent of spiders poured from betwixt her nethers. A myriad of black, gnashing arachnids gushed to the floor, spreading and pooling like tar around her ankles, as even more creatures expelled from her evil womb. As if
Finally, the good stuff, Zip.
As if of a singular mind, the crashing wave of this many-legged and multi-eyed offspring scrambled towards Gromgar, who still laid in an exhausted pile of wet and used barbarian meat. Drained in more ways than one, the proud new parent clawed for the sword still in his discarded pile of clothes. Then, exercising extreme exertion, he managed to rise to his feet just as his hungry children approached. "I brought you into this world," he growled, brandishing his weapon. "I can just as easily take you out." Rain came down in sheets, pelting the roofs, sogging the dirt roads, and generally mucking up any places to go adventuring, despite the rumors of a powerful witch in the area. Inside a bright and lively tavern, filled with song and merriment and patrons, a mage and a swashbuckler shared a drink and a laugh. Deciding to not risk the storm, the pair had opted to stay in and trade stories of their past exploits, reminiscing about the grand adventures they had with their former companion. That time, with all the orcs, or the Dread Wizard and his crystal golem. The two had endless tales of their mighty barbarian cohort, and they told them loudly to any who would listen. During a rather spirited retelling of the time they fought a three-headed giant, the door to the tavern burst open. Standing there, as if summoned from a netherworld by story and song alone, was the man himself, Gromgar the Barbarian. Covered in a million tiny spider bites, rain soaked through to his very core, the seasoned warrior looked worse than anyone in the small beer hall had ever seen. "All right," he growled through gritted teeth. "Maybe you two aren't the worst thing that's happened to me." The end.
What a fucking... Wow. I love this fucking story, this world, everything about this. And this was fucking Pulitzer winning material right here. At least a nomination.
I'm sorry,
man.
Did the swashbuckler and mage ever get a name?
No, they weren't important.
No.
Not important.
The only one who needs a name is Gromgar. This is his story.
That's true. The time he got laid.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I would love to see more adventures with these three.
Oh my goodness. Fucking, this could be like a fucking cartoon animated by Gendy Tartakovsky and scored by somebody who's also equally as good at their craft. This was a craft of, I am genuinely like, yeah. I have to follow this now.
Yeah, thanks. Blew my dick clean off with spiders.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Like the sensual moments, the fucking, he got cucked by his friends, and then he goes and actually scores with this witch who just turns ragged in a minute.
Yeah, I hope.
Damn,
what a wonderful...
Belgalora had a lot easier of a time.
Yeah. But he won. In the end of the day, he defeated the evil.
Sometimes you just,
I guess,
you got to kill a million of your own children.
Yeah, no, I'm in awe of how well we mind linked.
Yeah. You also use...
No, like you're gonna be more awed about how much mind link you did with me too. Like,
my god.
My story starts. Oh, one of us speaks in riddles, the other in rhymes.
I hope yours has sloughed off, because that was like the third hidden prompt.
Mm-hmm. Hi, my name's Belgalora. Wait, what?
Okay. Oh, that was great. That was fantastic. Wonderful tale. Thanks. All around. I'm glad that you were able to... Like, when did you write this? Like, this wasn't even part of the writing club. This was just, like, something you had in your pocket this whole time.
You remember that story that I got published by a traditional publisher? This started off as the story I was going to send to them. Like, it was like, you could see, like, how there's a bit of sexiness to it, but I was like, this would be more fun as a funny and action-y thing that just kind of hints at the sexuality to, just for the humor's sake of it. Yeah.
Hints, they say.
Yeah, just hints, like your story. Like, mine didn't describe clamming up a jam or jamming up.
It's jam in a clam.
Yeah, I mean that's what he did with the witch.
Yeah.
And
that's how the babies are born. That children is how spiders are born. That's how they
happen. Is a barbarian and a witch who don't really know each other.
If you're listening to this and you're under the age of fucking whatever, don't.
Yeah, get out of here.
So
hey kids, go watch Barney or something. Is that still on the air?
Oh man, it's gotta be. It's probably been rebooted 6 times. I went to the movie theater today. It was all reboots and remakes and prequels and sequels.
Yeah. Speaking of prequels. I've got a tale that is kind of like that. Why don't we get into it?
Sounds good.
All right, fellas. My tale today is called Haley Jr.'s Comet.
Excellent.
Once every 69 years, a bright crimson comet of magnificent power can be seen streaking across the otherwise starless, inky black night sky above the realm of Yergsland. To many, The spectacle was a once-in-a-lifetime astronomical marvel to be observed in silent, dough-faced awe. However, to a select few, the comet's periodic passing was said to magnify one's magical might to levels unseen in that realm since about 69 years ago, when the comet had come last.
Check it out.
And so, the religious zealots of the Stone Tower Temple weaved their spells in preparation of this most auspicious of occasions. They congregated in the highest room of the tower, a large and spooky sanctum with a giant hole in the ceiling as to better let in the light from the comet, which presently passed into view from above. Donned in their slick black cloaks, the zealots stood in a circle around the makeshift skylight and commenced their unholy ritual. They recited the magic words, spoken in a language so lost and forgotten that it was only ever used by scientists and pharmacists. And right now, I want you guys to join me in the chant. All right, repeat after me.
Okay.
Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum.
Ego,
stupri, amoris, oleum. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum. So they're all chanting that. One of them.
Really out of sync.
One of them. Perhaps the leader, or maybe just the guy who drew the shortest straw. He pulled a short, jagged dagger from an inner pocket of his robe and carved a cool S into his own palm.
The cool S.
The cool S is there. The most magic of runes. This zealot's agonized screams melded with the repeated chanting of his brothers as he finished his gruesome handiwork. See what I did there? As another of the acolytes produced a short, stout vessel of stainless steel with a handle and a spout, a peculiar container that vaguely resembled a tea kettle. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum. He opened one end of it and held it beneath the bleeding man's hand as he balled his fist and allowed droplets of dark, nearly pitch-black blood to ooze out from betwixt his fingies and into the vessel until his hand runneth empty. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum. One by one, each zealot of the Stone Tower Temple sliced open his palm. He balled his fist. He released that black, putrid gunk into the vessel and passed the knife to his brother, all while they repeated that blasphemous refrain over and over and over again. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum. And lo, after 17 minutes of this, after each zealot's S-shaped wound was tapped dry of its fluids and the vessel was filled nearly to the brim, it was time to summon forth their champion, their idol, that otherworldly being from an age long past. The final zealot presently resealed the top of the vessel and placed it on a pedestal in the middle of the room, just as the comet reached its zenith over the Stone Tower Temple and bathed the sanctum in its resplendent crimson glow. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum. The zealots joined hands around the tunnel of light now filling the chamber and screamed those ungodly words at the top of their lungs, some of whom more correctly than others. A roaring crescendo that greeted the coming of their champion with open arms. Ego, stupri, amoris, oleum.
Listen,
legumes.
Maybe if the cultists had it written down...
It would probably help if you were reading it too, I admit. And lo, when the comet had passed and the crimson light dispersed, the zealots were left in shock and awe of the being they had just summoned forth. A towering, lumbering titan of metallic plating and whirring gears. The one who stooped down and clutched his offering in both hands before drinking deeply of the zealot's black, acrid blood, until streams of the stuff leaked from the corners of its dark gray, human-esque lips. And once he had drank his fill, the trans-dimensional titan released a torrent of steam from the hole at the top of his head and roared a mighty roar that caused all the ear holes in the chamber to bleed upon hearing it.
I fucking love oil.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I tricked you. It was Tin Man.
Play his entrance music.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
As the zealots in the room bowed before their champion, that lumbering mechanical marvel, bowed and watched in awe and pure, unadulterated, impotent fear, as the metal man opened his chest plate, stowed the vessel within, and pulled out an artifact of his own. A neon pink silly straw which he affixed to the tip of his nose and used like a proboscis, thrusting it into the necks of the zealots one by one, absorbing all the pitch-black, oil-like blood their knobby, fleshy bodies contained. And when the last emaciated husk was finally tapped dry of its fluids, that freshly summoned horror replaced the silly straw into his chest plate for safekeeping, turned to the camera, and proudly proclaimed once more,
I fucking love oil.
Then he transformed into a flying car and flew into the night, leaving behind naught but a trail of black smog in his wake.
Incredible.
Cut to another time, another place, aka Dr. Lesk's living room in upstate New York.
Tin Man, where are you, my mechanical marvel?
Dr. Lesk searched his abode high and low and high again for his creation, the man of tin who had disappeared from the good doctor's suburban home without a trace. Presently he paced into the living room and checked underneath a couch cushion, hoping against hope that Tin Man would be hiding beneath it somehow. And when this final gambit proved fruitless, he wiped the beads of nervous sweat from his brow and proclaimed to no one in particular,
Oh, ye gods, this isn't good. Tin Man can't be left unsupervised. Without his giant hamster bottle of oil keeping him docile, there's no telling what sorts of trouble he'll get himself into. I just hope he turns up soon.
Double cut to another place, another time, aka the Timberfall Tavern in the Tiger Woods. It was just another Moon's Day morning for Sir Lightning McJunglecat.
He's
the
back.
finest knight in all of Oakburg, as he did what he always did at 9 a.m. He sat his ass at the bar and enjoyed his boy breakfast of baked beans and beer until he was either presented with a quest or kicked out of the establishment for disorderly conduct, whichever came first. It was usually the latter.
Yeah.
Presently, he was 3 cans and 5 mugs deep, respectively, and his stomach growled in agony. Bartender, I have to go take a shit. Please make sure no one takes my spot. I'll be right back.
Don't worry, sugar. I'll watch it like a hawk.
That's that big inch.
Lightning stood from his seat, clenched his cheeks, and waddled into the latrine with all the swiftness a knight of his stature could muster. And 20 minutes of liquid shits later, after wiping his ass, washing his hands, and suiting back up into his plate mail armor, he was aghast to find that his seat was now occupied by some ruffian or another. But before he had a chance to get into a good old-fashioned bar fight with the fool so brazen as to take Sir Lightning McJunglecat's seat, his entire life was about to turn upside down. For into the establishment barged a flustered, teary-eyed orc who ambled up to the bar and cried,
Turn on the news. It doesn't matter what channel.
The bartender flipped on the magic rectangle and lo, live for all to see on Channel 69 News was footage of Tin Man's car form flying through the air, releasing putrid streaks of smog as it careened straight into the North Tower of the Jurgensland Trade Center.
No!
The thing toppled like a house of cards, killing thousands of innocent bureaucrats and businessmen and shit in the process. But Tin Man emerged out the other side of the building unscathed and did an aileron roll before doubling back and crashing through the South Tower as well.
No!
I fucking love oil.
Not a single dry eye remained in the Timberfall Tavern as the bar's patrons watched the grisly scene play out before them. Strangers hugged as they sobbed into each other's shoulders, anything to find some semblance of comfort in this hellish new world they now lived in. A world where a flying car could swoop in and massacre thousands of people in a matter of moments.
And I'm proud to be a Yerxalinian, where at least I know I'm free.
But for Sir Lightning McJunglecat, ever the opportunist, this unprecedented act of terrorism meant one thing. With the unwavering confidence of a drunkard after one too many, he stood atop the nearest stool and proclaimed,
"Time to invade the Middle East.
Quickly, someone pay me money and I shall go on a quest to vanquish this foul beast right now, before he does any more damage." Good Lord, he just hit the Pentagon! Someone screamed as the Man of Tin did just that live on the air.
What is the Pentagon in this context? It's the
It's
same
just a
thing.
What
shape.
path is he flying?
He made it there pretty quick.
Wait, hold on. We need to investigate Building 7. I don't think this actually happened. This isn't canon, folks.
A shower of gold coins and one U.S. American $20 bill were flung haphazardly into the noble knight's direction from all angles. He was positively swimming in coinage and was now obligated to make good on his promise. So he ordered another drink, downed it, then called a Centaur because he was far too inebriated to operate a wooden carriage.
This guy fucking sucks, but at least he isn't drunk driving. Or what if that's how we defeat Tin Man? You gotta drunk drive into him.
Or maybe he needs to be drunk while he's driving.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. On oil. He drunk on oil. Thank you for choosing Centaur for all your traveling needs. Where to, kind stranger? Follow that smoke trail. I must vanquish the dastardly foe who left it for the good of the land. Whoa, bro. You want me to follow that thing? He just hit the Pentagon. I'm on a quest, damn it. A bunch of people just gave me money to go defeat that foul beast in pitched combat. Now quit your belly aching and follow the damn trail.
Yeah, make good on your Kickstarter promises, you bastard.
Exactly. Yeah, nah, brah, ain't gonna happen, sorry. Listen, bub, do you want 5 stars and a fat fucking tip or not? Well, shit, dog, that's all you had to say. Hop on. And lo, Lightning McJunglecat rode his Centaur east into the deep woods. So deep, in fact, that neither Lightning nor his centaur companion could even see the sky anymore. It was all branches and leaves and shit up there now, and so their trail ranneth cold. Blast, says the Centaur. It seems we cannot continue our search. Would you like me to drop you off here, or... Not so fast, you craven rent-a-steed.
Whoa.
I have an idea. Using my big, strong arms and legs, I shall climb up to the forest canopy and scope out the villain's trail with style and ease. Steeze, if you will. Now stay put. I'll be right back. You got it, boss. The noble knight, Sir Lightning McJunglecat, hopped off his Centaur's back and skittered up the nearest tree with the quickness of lightning and the steeze of a jungle cat on the prowl.
Whoa.
He poked his head up through the tree line and immediately caught sight of Tin Man's trail, the streak of acrid black smoke which continued due east. But when he climbed back down to proceed on his quest, he was loath to discover that his trusty Centaur had already abandoned him.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Basically, as soon as he turned around, dust cloud.
That's a 1-star review.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
Also, is rent-a-steed a racial slur? It definitely sounds like one.
It could be. In some circles it is.
Yeah.
He literally rented a steed, though, so, like, it's...
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's a centaur, man.
I guess. And so he moved ahead on foot, hacking at vines and leaves and murkmonks and other such vegetation with his broadsword as he marched due east, through the thick foliage of the Tiger Woods, undeterred. After several hours of this, all the alcohol he had drank for breakfast had since worn off, and our noble knight was left with a splitting headache and a severe case of cottonmouth. Needless to say, he had grown quite deterred indeed, and now moved at a snail's pace toward his destination. Ah, by George Wangtown's balls, I'm parched! Oh, what I wouldn't give for a nice tall glass of brand mead right about now. It was around this time that Sir Lightning stumbled upon a babbling brook occupied by all sorts of little woodland critters. Deer, raccoons, owls, merkmonks, chipmunks, and a bunch of other stuff. Unspecified other things. They drank calmly from the brook, paying no mind to the bumbling adventurer who had entered into their domain. The one who removed his plate mail helm and dunked his whole head into the drink to better quench his ravenous thirst. And speaking of, hold on, let me take a sip here.
Hell yeah. Hydration, brother.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. When he undunked his head from the water, he noticed that all the aforementioned critters that were just there had hastily dispersed into the surrounding wilderness. The noble knight just assumed that it was his presence that had spooked them off and thought nothing more of it. So he continued kneeling at the side of the brook and drank his fill, then removed his plate mail codpiece and peed into the water. Ah, that's better. I've been holding that one in since boy breakfast.
Yeah.
It was peeing right in the drinking water, like a
There's
true
so much
noble
forest
knight.
around him he could have chose. So many trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, into the water, into the clean water specifically.
Every decision that Lightning McJungle Cat makes me hate him a little bit more.
Okay, this might change your mind.
Glad he gets exploded by a dragon or whatever happened to him.
No, he died from like a severe hangover.
Oh, yeah.
The hangover killed him, but that's a story for another time.
Right.
It was then that the forest nymph who was standing behind him this whole time finally piped up and made her presence known. Why, hello there, you handsome human man, you! She was stunning in every sense of the word, with fiery red hair, freckled ivory skin, butterfly wings, and a short, revealing miniskirt of leaves. And her tits were totally out, too, flopping in the breeze of the forest as she smiled wide.
Oh, she had cool boobs?
Yeah, cool boobs, totally out, flopping in the breeze as she smiled wide, revealing that set of pearly white, razor-sharp, pointed teeth. Good day to you, comely forest maiden. What brings you to the old watering hole at this hour? Oh, noble knight, I've been all on my lonesome in these here woods for so long. I'm in dire need of a big, strong man such as yourself to satisfy my carnal desires.
Whoa!
Quickly, these voluptuous curves of mine need to be handled roughly right here on the forest floor, presently. Won't you join me for an afternoon of joyous procreation, Sir Knight? Ain't gonna happen, lady.
Nice.
For I, Sir Lightning McJungle Cat, am a happily married man.
I thought it was an open marriage.
Cut to. Dozens of miles away in the village of Oakburg, a fruit vendor was peddling his wares right outside the McJungle Cat household. Fruits for sale, apples, oranges, cucumbers, all sorts of fruits for sale. When all of a sudden, a goblin poked his head out from the bedroom window and screamed, Hey, would you keep it down out there? Me and my boys are trying to have hot, nasty sex with some guy's wife in here. There's 13 of us in total, and I got last for Orc J's sake.
Nice!
Cut back to, Come on, your wife won't find out. It'll be our dirty little secret. Out of the question. I may be a drunk and a scoundrel, but there are certain lines that I do not cross. Oh, you're no fun. But mayhaps I could change your mind if I were to oil up these big, beautiful breasts of mine, she surmised, as she produced a bottle of tanning lotion from Goblin Jesus knows where, and began applying it vigorously to her bosom area.
Everybody knows in between the boobs is a hammer space. Come on.
No means no, you oil-covered vagrant. Can't you see I'm in the middle of a quest right now?
I fucking love oil.
From out of fucking nowhere, a talking flying car careened down through the tree line and dive-bombed the oiled-up nymph in question.
Oh, I didn't expect it.
Tin Man quickly reverted back to his man form and produced his silly straw proboscis, which he affixed into place on his nose. The sky went from clear cyan blue to dark, overcast gray in a matter of moments as torrential rains rolled in and lightning, the weather effect, not the man, crashed in the background for added effect.
Speaking of lightning, the guy,
he's
a fucking human and not a cat man.
No, he's a guy. He's a human man.
See, in my brain, he was like a fat lion man.
I've gotten this. Dr. Phil was talking to me like yesterday about this same exact thing. He's like, I thought he was a cat.
Yeah.
He's a Mick Jungle Cat.
Which maybe...
That's his family name.
Yeah.
It's his surname, yeah. That's like, your last name's Wizard. That doesn't mean you're a wizard like IRL.
I am, though. I said so at the beginning of this podcast. How dare you doubt my spellcasting abilities?
Ace is like Jabba the Hutt. They are what they are, but not everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All the while, the metal man thrust his straw appendage forward and swallowed his oil-coated prey whole. like Cell from Dragon Ball. Like, just like his tail comes out and just absorbs Android 17 in one bite.
Can't wait to see.
I thought it was 18 he absorbed like that.
Both of them.
Both of them, yeah.
Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see his next form.
Oh, perfect Tin Man.
Yeah. As she writhed about inside of the straw, her muffled cries growing weaker by the second as she traveled up the length of the proboscis and into Tin Man's being. Help me, Lightning! I'm dying! I'm dying! Ah! I'm dying! Ah! I am dead!
Damn.
I fucking love oil,
he said, as his torso began spinning around like a dryer cycle as to harvest all the oil from the nymph's carcass. Your days are numbered, you metal marauder, for I, Sir Lightning McJunglecat, have been paid approximately 76 gold and 20 US American dollars to destroy you in pitched combat. Prepare to die! Sir Lightning McJunglecat drew his broadsword and began hacking and slashing at the metal man in his midst. The one whose wide, closed-mouthed smile quickly rotated 180 degrees into a frown as his pupils flashed red for added effect.
I fucking love oil.
But alas, his tin carapace was far too sturdy for the noble knight's sword to do much of anything to. So he stood there, menacingly, unable to move during his oil harvesting protocols, simply leering down at the noble knight in a manner so intimidating that it caused him to turn tail and run all the way back home. Blast! This foe is too powerful! Either that or I'm getting too old for this questing shit. Mayhaps it's time I consider what to do for my retirement. And lo... Tin Man stood triumphant over all those who had opposed him, stood and allowed his oil harvesting protocols to finish without any further interruption. 17 minutes later, and the mechanical marvel dinged and released a torrent of steam from his face holes as he deposited a small pile of cremated ashes onto the forest floor. But alas, as the man of tin was to soon find out firsthand, he had stood out in the rain for too long and was now rusted in place. His mental synapses went into overdrive as he tried to think of a way out of this predicament. He crossed his eyes down at the silly straw still affixed to his nose, and a light bulb appeared directly above his head, signaling to you, dear listener, that Tin Man had just come up with an idea. In a last-minute gambit to lube up his limbs, he tried to use his proboscis to retrieve his trusty oil can, but was unable to do so. For after pulling out that short, stout vessel from inside his chest plate, both artifacts fell to the grassy ground, just hardly out of reach. And there he stood, and stood, and stood. Finn.
Damn, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
I remember with the earlier stories wondering, how did he get here? And how did that other guy retire?
Yeah.
And now we've got the answers that we've always
wanted. He caused the fantasy equivalent of 9/11 and then got rusted in the rain.
He did worse than 9/11 because we didn't get the Pentagon strike.
That's true. He did successfully hit the Pentagon as well. But I guess in Yerksland, the Pentagon is just like a cornfield shaped like a pentagon or something. I didn't think that through.
Yeah. We still need to investigate Building 7, though. I don't think Tin Men burned that hot.
Yeah, no, the oil doesn't melt steel beams.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking like this, since this is like a fantasy world, and like this is probably like a building like out of like straw and sticks or something. Like it's not like too terribly sturdy.
It housed thousands.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, so that's my story about
Damn.
Sir Lightning McJunglecat before his last quest, before he retired and died 3 days later.
I know what's wrong with you, you're busted. Don't you know that you've been oxidized? Somebody left you in the rain too long, and now you've been immobilized. You're busted. If you move, you make a squeaking sound. That's right, you got an orange patina from above your neck down to the ground. You're busted.
God damn it. That was a really good story. I can't believe we
Thank you.
both reduced someone to ashes.
And fucking me and Strawberry both had like a maiden of questionable repute come and seduce our main protagonist as well.
Something about temples and comets really get people's blood moving.
Exactly.
To be fair, Belgalora's like chaotic neutral at best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think she has the best repute in the world.
I think Belgalora's clone is just like the fucking, like, she's in like cleric gear, so she's obviously the good one.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of a fun subversion of the evil shadow.
The evil shadow is the good version.
Yeah. It's the one. Belgalora's like pure id, right? This one's super ego.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was I'm glad that you fellas were able to join me for these tales of Comets and Temples. That was a really good time. I enjoyed both of your stories thoroughly. I'm glad you guys enjoyed mine.
Hell yeah,
It was
brother.
And we've all had a wonderful time. A lot of like mental like bridges were formed during these the writing of these. Because I know Strawberry, yours was written a while ago, but like it just so happened that me and Ace just so happened to like just pick up on a lot of what you were gonna tell us about this.
I mean, I didn't really keep that in mind. I just kind of wanted to write about. I came up with Belgalora's epic quest score again in the shower, and I was just like, well, yeah, no, I gotta write about that now. That's too.
All the best ideas come in the shower.
That's too funny of a title.
And that's the only thing that does in the shower.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not the shower. That's takes too long. You're gonna run out of hot water. Yeah. Anyways.
3 minutes later.
3 minutes later. I mean, yeah. That was really...
I mean, if this witch is as hot as you say, I think 3 minutes is pretty impressive.
I mean, she... Yeah.
She was a withered old crone, remember?
Yeah, but like she appeared to our barbarian friend as a very, very seductive, in a very seductive manner.
It's like that bit from fucking Conan, where you just...
Yeah.
He's in a house, there's an old lady, he
like,
fucks her.
While they're doing it, she turns into a fucking creature and
then he just
throws her into fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. I was gonna mention, like, I might have read that comic around this time, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's in the movies, too. That happens a lot, I bet. I bet Conan's getting that treatment every other month.
Oh my god, you don't have no idea. I've been reading through the Conan books. I made, like, there's this one where he's, like, in the fucking, like, the temple, like, with all the concubines and the zealots and shit. He goes down there and, like, gets seduced by a vampire. She's like, I've been immortal for thousands of years. And, like, she smiles, reveals her fanged teeth, and tries to bite him while he's doing it.
It just
and then
seems like that, like, the dungeon seems like a weird place to start posting Hog. You know?
Yeah, posting hog. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that phrase.
Yeah. It just seems like a strange place to be like, yeah, no, we're gonna do it here, baby.
Yeah, boy.
My longest yeah boy ever. Great audio experience. I love this podcast. Thank you.
He was shooping the whoop.
Between that and the steamed hams bit, I'm really glad that we have loyal listeners.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com/give Chris money.
That's the one.
And you
Is that the actual link? Because that's great.
That's not the link.
That's unfortunate.
Should be.
And you better know how to spell that.
Yeah, but I could have gone for a lot longer, but I didn't actually breathe in all the air before I started.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a beginner's mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try again. We'll just leave it with that.
Fantastic.
Let's not fix it in post.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Podcast done. I'm declaring it.
Podcast done. Yeah, we're done here.
My show now. Fuck you. Twin Sanity music goes here.
Yep, you know it.